Okay, hello. Right. I am. This is a demo of how I basically solved. I think I solved a perf issue on netlify.com, app.netlify.com. This is unrehearsed, so there may be some issues, but I figured I should record this because I work with people who are remote and they may see this at a different pace than me, different time than me. So I figured I would just record the thought process behind this and maybe show this off as a benefit for other people who might want to use the new React DevTools. This is definitely pre-release, so this is all subject to change, but let's just get into it. So here I have an app. This is app.netlify.com, and we have a known perf issue with regards to build log generation. So when we have very long logs, so here I have a script. It's just a JavaScript thing, and it just console logs 1 to 200, or I guess 0 to 199. And for long logs, we noticed that the app was hanging or just like becoming unresponsive the longer the log was. So just to replicate this, I posted something with the long log, and it would generate these 200 console logs, and that's a simulation of how it can be. In reality, the issues really start coming in when the logs go like above 1,000 or above 10,000. So but this is a small enough case where we can replicate what's going on. So down here I have the new React DevTools. We used to have just the elements component, but now we also have the profiler section. I'm going to go ahead and click record, and it's profiling now. Nothing's happening. See, when I stop, nothing's recorded because I haven't clicked on anything. So this is not a time profiler. This is a render profiler. The amount of times it commits to the DOM. So when I click on something, it commits, and then all this stuff starts printing out, right? So that's enough for me to stop profiling. And this is not what I expect. So I think I have something. I think I might be showing something which I'm not exactly sure. All right, so I'm just going to reload because that's not the demo that I was going to show you. I may have preloaded the screen already because before I recorded this screen recording, I pulled up the screen. Okay, so let me try again. I'm just going to start the profiler record, and this is going to print out. You see, it's already not responsive here. It's not printing out anything, and really in the background, it's just like sending out those logs and re-rendering every single time there's a log. So how that looks in the profiler is that there's all these. This is a flame chart of every single component that's rendering. If there's something rendering, you can see some color on it. You can click under the color and then navigate by using the left and right arrow keys. I'm using my keyboard now, left and right. And you can see the things that we render just animating like this. So this is very nice for us to figure out. So here I'm on the first commit. This was committed at 1.9 seconds after I recorded. I hit record. Commit took 22 milliseconds. Basically, it doesn't matter, right? Like I don't care about 32 milliseconds. So if you have an expensive render, you're going to see that here, and it's going to be like 200, 400 milliseconds, and those are the things you should investigate. But in this app that we're looking at, that's not an issue. What is an issue, however, is this very long series of commits, all coming in at the same time. So, and that you can see that over here. So this is where the deploy log container. So if we just deploy log container, that's this thing, right? So that's the main container. I'm not going to mess with the height. That's the main container where it just expands every single time a new log comes in. So it just it keeps coming in, and these renders are all coming in at 2.4 seconds, and they all take a little bit of time. This is very few milliseconds to render, but it doesn't matter because we're committing so many things, and all it's 200 200 separate commits, all within the same, basically the same time. And that's really what's causing our screen to lock up. And yeah, so just to prove it to you, we can go to so here I've got a big I've got 200, I'd say log 200, right? If I were to change my test script and make it go to 500, there, and that should hit here in the CI. So just hopefully wait for this to reload. So this was done with 200 console logs. If I refresh this and wait for the CI to come in, take a little. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start profiling again. So this is the new commit. This is the new this is the new publish, I guess. I'm going to hit record again. And then I'm going to click navigate to that page. So now we expect to see on the order of 500 commits. That hasn't happened because I I pre-rendered it by my attempt just now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reload, and I'll show you that it takes up to 500 commits. Record, hit here, and then it freezes up. Wow, yeah, what's going on? You done yet or what? Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's your 500. So imagine doing that, but for like another 10,000, right? That was a really long wait, and it was just unresponsive. So and then you can see here the number of commits go up to 500 now as compared to 200 the previous time. Additionally, another useful feature of the DevTools is you can click onto this. So like this thing is continually rendering, right? I'm using my arrow keys and I'm going left and right. And this thing, you can see that this thing is continually rendering based on like whatever props are being passed in. So another useful thing is over here. You can see the render count. So the number of times this thing was rendered over the profile period. So if I go all the way to the end and I click on the last commit, this is like 565-ish, and we're still in the same element, deploy log container. You can see that the render count goes up to 561. So there's a lot of rendering of this thing, this component going on within from 8.8 seconds all the way down to 1.7 seconds. So essentially the app's not responsive or not showing things that it should be showing for about 6 seconds. So that's not good. And we want to fix this, right? So essentially what happens is over in the code, not to give away too many secrets of Netlify, but essentially we've got this is the code for deploy log container. Oh, I don't need this. Okay, well, this is the code for deploy log container. It does component did mount, which listens for logs. It listens for logs and basically just pings Firebase, updates Firebase, and then it pulls down data from Firebase one by one, and then every single line by line update from Firebase, it does an update log. What's update log here? And each update log calls a set state, and this set state basically is this uses immutable JS, so it just adds on to that state, and obviously this thing just re-renders longer and longer every time, and this log viewer is what you see here as the child of deploy log container. So you can see here we can expand it, but this is what's essentially re-rendering every single time, and it just gets longer and longer. So what we really need to do is, so this is essentially non-negotiable because that's how Firebase works. It just streams in by line. So essentially what we need to do is debounce things. So as it streams in, if things are still streaming in, we do not set state until everything's kind of calmed down for a bit. Then we render it. So that reduces the render burden, and it makes the app more responsive. So I've already gone ahead and done that. I've imported Lodash debounce, and I've written a debounce reducer because you need to combine things that are being debounced. And then I've also written I just wrapped that in a debounce set state over here. And that's basically instead of just setting state immediately, it just takes in arguments and combines them in the way that we want. It's sort of like a reducer function. And so that's why this is called debounce reduce. And so instead of calling this.setState, we just called it this.debounce set state over here. I'm going to save that. It's going to rebuild. Right. Okay. So over here, I'm going to reload. Let's actually reload. And the perf issue should be gone, assuming that my React instance, my React DevTools are still alive. So I've reloaded. Let me just reload one more time for good measure. So now that we've implemented debounce set state, what happens is that even with 500 console logs going in, let me profile this thing. Even with 500 console logs going in, the number of renders is not O of n. So it's very fast to render because, well, we just let the data come in, right? And we only have 12 renders here, and they're obviously going to be a little bit more expensive, but that doesn't matter. So this is a 500 render example. So let's go to something with like 1,000. So again, let's profile things, and then what took super long? This one. Okay. So I think I had it like 1,000. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So this goes up to 1,000, and we still have the same number of renders. So that's how I basically did some sort of perf profiling on my. It's very simple, right? But it wouldn't have been possible without this kind of render tool, dev tool. Just like telling you the number of commits when they happened and showing you which component was re-rendering each time. So it really made it very easy for me to dive into the code base, even though I'm new to this app. Dive into the code base, look for the perf issue, and go like, all right, what are some strategies to speed those up? And really, I guess this is kind of hacky still. I'm not like super happy with it, but it solves the immediate issue. And I'm sure we'll figure out an official solution. I'm sure that Firebase itself actually has a better solution than debouncing things that come in. But yeah, I mean, this was super easy with the DevTools, and I kind of like it. All right, that's that. Bye.